Hey summoners, and welcome back to yet another Mobalytics video. It's your jungle expert Flares, and today we're going to look at how you can actually make the enemy jungler completely useless. Now, by making the jungler completely irrelevant is by far the best thing you could do to win more games, but honestly, the key to winning more games is by checking out Mobalytics.gg and downloading our handy dandy desktop app. Our GPI assesses your strengths and weaknesses to help you improve as a player, and as well as a solid pregame feature to tell you who's been inting and who's been popping off recently. Alright, so let's check out how 100 Thieves Meteos creates small advantages to make the other jungler completely irrelevant. So starting off, let's spectate Meteos on Olaf, and Meteos is against Lee Sin, and what you're seeing here off the bat is what is mostly considered a standard level 1 warding shenanigans for solo queue. This is the first step to making any jungler useless, is because these wards are meant to figure out what side the jungler is starting or to fend off any possibilities of a cheese invade, which will help with tracking. Normally, these wards are to be placed on whatever buff you're not starting on, Pixel Brush, or either the enemy's buffs at around 50 seconds. A cool little trick is that you can actually recall and purchase an Oracle's Lens after that and make it back in time to start your first camp, and have the ability to figure out what is warded and what isn't for your early ganks or invades. Alright, so back to Meteos. It's a standard full clear on Olaf, and then he goes straight into the river to try and find Lee Sin because he is just that much stronger than him, especially early. You can see here next that Lee lands the Q, but takes it instantly and figures out that he can't beat Olaf. Next part is a bit lucky, but Lee ward hops out, but Thresh rotates and lands a clutch hook to secure a kill for Meteos, which is where he gets his first big lead over Lee Sin. But that's honestly not enough to make him useless though, so instead of just walking out and recalling back to base, Meteos pushes forward to check if Gromp was cleared and takes it because his team still has priority, and this denies Lee Sin golden XP, making him even more further behind. So let's rewind. We can see that Lee starts on red and will clear to the same side as Olaf to contest Scuttle. Lee's first mistake was starting red and should have started the blue side so that he could trade Scuttle Crabs on spawn and avoid the 1v1, which Olaf clearly wins. And this goes for every jungler in an unfavorable matchup. Getting those early wards to see where the enemy jungler starts level 1 impacts the whole decision making on your clear. It means that you can avoid unfavorable skirmishes and be able to safely secure farm and gank away from your enemy jungler. However, as we saw, Lee Sin makes a predictable play, and that mistake alone made him irrelevant for the rest of the game. So after Meteos is done stealing Lee's jungle, he'll reset and quickly head to the top side river. This is because Meteos wants to continue to push his lead forward, and he understands that he is stronger while knowing Lee has to be in his red side jungle after respawning in base. We know this because Lee has no more camps on his own blue side, and that both of them contested the bottom scuttle on spawn. Meteos knows top side scuttle is probably still up and still wants to contest it since he has the clear advantage over Lee Sin. He'll find him, bully him away from the crab, and say thank you for the leash, only to further shove Lee out of the game. To make things even worse, Olaf finds a wonky gank onto the Silas and hits level 6 from the wave while Lee is still only level 4. From this point forward, Lee Sin has to pray for his laners to find kills and carry his body across the finish line. As you can probably imagine, Meteos eventually wins this game because of the advantages he created for himself in just 6 minutes. Yes, 6 minutes. But what can we actually take away and learn from this? Sure, not every game you're going to have a favorable jungle matchup or even have priority contests for objectives. But what you can get out of this is understanding the general habits of junglers and how to shut them out of the game. With those things being understanding where the enemy jungler starts, predicting their pathing, pushing an advantage in counter jungling, and thinking about where the enemy jungler is to contest. Okay, so let's move on to another game that's a bit different but shows it a bit more. We have a Rek'Sai versus Fiddlesticks matchup. And what I want you all to understand is that each champion has their own individual timer before they turn off or fall off. Rek'Sai is going to fall off in the mid game where Fiddle will scale. This means that Rek'Sai has a small window in the early game to impact the map before Fiddle starts ramping up and eventually outscales him. So again, we see the level 1 shenanigans where Rek'Sai aggressively wards Fiddle's red. The really important part is at the 130 mark we can see that Fiddle isn't showing up on his red, which means he's starting on the blue side, and this gives us our first part, where he starts. Fiddles aren't particular in ganking level 3, which means, as you know, he'll rotate to multi-clear Raptors in red. So since you know where he started, you can guess where he's going, right? Is Fiddle gonna gank level 3 or continue to farm onto his red side? Fiddle is exceptional at clearing as well as multi-clearing multiple camps at once, so he's likely headed towards red side and Raptors to power farm to hit his level 6 power spike. Rek'Sai understands this and invades and gets a little over ambitious, steals a camp sure, but dies in the process. Now, you might think it's doomed and over for the Rek'Sai, but this is where understanding jungle tracking flips the game into your favor. Rek is going to run back from the respawn while knowing Fiddle is going to clear red, scuttle, and Krugs and reset. With everything that's happened, Bot Scuttle is still up and his blue side is respawned since that's where Fiddle started. Now that we all understand what side of the map Fiddle is on, Rek'Sai gets a gank off middle and immediately transitions to find Fiddle in his own jungle. Talon follows us up and is gifted a free kill, and the team gets a free Drake in the process. So where could the Fiddle go on the map if Dragon and his blue side are gone? Yep, back to the red side, and the Talon goes and invades. Wait, what was that ignite? Anyways, Talon did the important thing and flushed out Fiddle and got camp timers in the process. The reason I'm even showing you this one is because Fiddle does the typical jungle habit of flip-flopping between his blue and red side jungle. He is making it obvious where he's going to be next and would tip off the laners when they need to play safe or aggressive. Fiddle top side, top play safe and bot play aggro. Fiddle bottom, the bot lane plays safe and top plays aggro. Pretty simple. And I can't stress this enough, this is so important for making a jungler useless because wasting a jungler's time for denying ganks is the most valuable thing a team can do to make the enemy jungler irrelevant. Also, there's a yo-yo effect that the junglers tend to create by one being top side and the other being bot side, where generally you would want to counter gank when convenient. Champion matchups influence pathing a lot, but chances are the enemy is going to make the same path they know every time, and that opens them up to you invading. It's just like how it was expected for an Olaf or a Karthus not too long ago, just to full clear from blue down, and the only way possibly to get an edge in that matchup was to either start red or blue and wait to cheese gank at the Raptors or red. So to recap, the first thing you should be doing at level 1 is either pushing for a ward on the enemy's buff if you have your team to back you up, or if you're just feeling a little dangerous. Pixel Brush is kinda meh to be honest, and it's generally better just to ward your other buff because a good jungler will path around the Pixel Brush ward. For the second thing, you need to understand if your champion is stronger or weaker. If you're stronger, you should be looking for those skirmishes that you're pretty much guaranteed to win and taking advantage of jungle pathing to shut down the opposing jungler. And if you're weaker, you can't play into the other person's strengths and avoid them. Otherwise, just be ready to forfeit at 15 because you're gonna be unable to play the game. And lastly, before I wrap things up, it's important to go inside the enemy's jungle to grab respawn timers for camps to help with tracking the jungler. In cases where you're stronger, be sure to have priority, and that way you're likely to get a solo kill and whatever information that comes with that, those being jungle timers or even free camps to sling you ahead. Alrighty ladies and gents, and that's all I got for now. I think this video just barely scratches the surface on a lot of core jungle concepts, and if you'd want me to dive deeper, be sure to let me know what it is you'd want me to expand further on down below in the comments. And if you really haven't already, go subscribe to our YouTube channel for more of our content, but definitely go give Mobalytics.gg a try. If you seriously want to climb and get better at the game, Mobalytics is here for you. And thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and see you in the next one, Summoners.